your peace disappears when the unexpected happens, then that means that you can't depend on your own peace. And that can make our lives unpredictable in an emotional sense. The external world is supposed to be unpredictable because we can't control it, and nor should we be trying to control it. Starships were meant to fly, hands up and touch the sky. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dominique Davis, also known as Brown and Bindi, and here on this channel we practice flexibility of the mind, body, and spirit. I almost forgot the name of my channel. Okay, today we have a really cool video. It's a bop. We're going to be talking about how to get you further on your journey, further on finding your true self by discussing the difference between circumstantial happiness and foundational happiness. Now, before we get into this, just a couple things I want to mention. I have a cup, and this cup was made by Alicia Pink. And it says, I get what I manifest. And it's so cute. Alicia Pink is a part of our community here. She's a part. Can you see it? Can you see it? Alicia Pink is a part of our community here on the Brown and Bindi channel. And I just wanted to support her. She sent me a mug, so I wanted to show her mug. And I'm going to put her Etsy down in the description box. Her Etsy is called Alicia Pink Print, and that's probably why I have starships stuck in my head now. Also, just in case you are new to the channel, please make sure that you are subscribed and that you click the notification bell so that you can be notified whenever I come out with new videos or whenever I go live, stuff like that. I want you to be a reality bender, okay? I want you to bend your reality so that you can attract all of the things that you desire and want for yourself. And I also want you to join the Bindi Bunch because we are a really cool squad, okay? We have a Facebook group, the Manifestation Yoga Collective. I will put the link in the description box, and I'll also put it down on the screen just in case you want to manually type it in and go see what we are about. So go ahead and join that if you'd like to connect to the community a little bit more intimately. Okay, let's get into the video. Is something on my face? Something was on my face. Oh gosh. Let's talk about prolonging your life journey because you are attached to circumstantial happiness. Circumstantial happiness is basically the part of your belief system that you've been taught since you were young that defines what makes you happy. It's what people tell you when you are very young to aspire to so that you can be a fulfilled adult. And a lot of times we're not taught to revisit our belief system, so we believe that a lot of the things that we were taught to make us happy are the rules that we have to abide by. Now, if you've been on this channel for a little while, you know that I am just like so self-conscious that something is on my face. If you've been on the channel for a while, you know that we are all about breaking down belief systems so that we can really learn how to separate our ego from our soul and our soul's values. So when it comes to looking at your belief system and understanding what you have been taught, looking to see what you've been taught will make you happy can help you understand why you may not be happy today, right now. Circumstantial happiness is fleeting, okay? So if you only have circumstantial happiness, then that means that you are not confident that you are a happy person. And a lot of times our ego won't let us admit that we're not happy, right? Oh my goodness. I remember I was in college and my best friend was having an argument with her roommate. And she was coming from a place of love. And she was just like, I just feel like you are not happy. And her roommate was just so angry and in the moment. And she like literally yelled, I'm happy. I'm a happy person. And I think that was actually my first understanding of how we can say we're happy because our ego wants us to think that we know what we're doing and we know how to run the show. But If your happiness can be shaken by external circumstances, which we will get to, that means that your happiness is circumstantial, which means that your happiness depends on the circumstance that you're in. And that's no fun. Your happiness is circumstantial if your peace is circumstantial. So if everything's going your way, you're happy, right? That's how the majority of us are. But when things start to happen that you can't control, when the unpredictable happens, how do you react? Where do your thoughts go? Where is your foundation? If you tend to sink into this place of woe is me, victim mentality, I don't know how I will find my way out of this, then your happiness is circumstantial. You were only happy when everything was going your way. But if your peace disappears when if your peace disappears when the unexpected happens, then that means that you can't depend on your own peace. And that can make our lives unpredictable in an emotional sense. The external world is supposed to be unpredictable because we can't control it, and nor should we be trying to control it. Is that right grammar? I don't know. We shouldn't be trying to control the external world, but our internal state we are in control of. Not only are we in control of it, we are responsible for it. So if your internal state is parallel to your external environment, that means that your happiness is only circumstantial and you don't really have control over what's going on within. So let's talk about foundational happiness. So foundational happiness to me is this sense of being unbothered. There's not really any other way that I can put it. I do not think that a lot of people with foundational happiness feel the need to prove that they are happy. You know, we are in this age of social, oh my goodness, I don't know if I want to go down this road, but it came up, so I'll talk about it. We're in this age of social media where a lot of us are competing with one another to show how happy we are, how fulfilled we are, whether we're doing that for our audiences, whether we're doing that for ex-friends, whether we're doing that for ex-relationships. We're in this culture where we use our social platforms to prove our happiness. The thing about a person with foundational happiness is that they never feel like there is anything to prove. All of my closest friends have foundational happiness. They all have different personalities though. My best friend, my child's godmother, she is one of my favorite examples of foundational happiness because she is very... You have to come to her and ask her how she feels in order for her to tell you. She's not the type of person to get up on a podium and scream her opinion because she doesn't have the ego to feel like her opinion needs to compete with others. She has a solid sense of self and a confidence of self that allows her to navigate through the world peacefully, even though her external world can shift, like all of our external worlds can shift. So the thing about foundational happiness is that a lot of times it can look a lot different than selfies where you're smiling and pictures running on the beach and nice cars, nice houses, nice wardrobes, nice material things. Foundational happiness is internal. And a lot of times there's no way to prove it because when you have it, you don't need to prove it. It comes out when situations are difficult. Foundational happiness can be found when a person is going through the unexpected, going through reality changes that they didn't predict and they might not even want. But foundational happiness allows for a person to navigate through these life changes without the internal state falling apart. That person will always have their peace. Now, this does not mean that people with foundational happiness aren't entitled to experiencing emotions. A person with foundational happiness can be sad. A person with foundational happiness can be angry and frustrated, but at the end of the day, when those emotions have phased out, a person with foundational happiness can always come back to their center, as opposed to a person with circumstantial happiness who will go through the emotion, eventually come back to what they consider to be their center. And then when the next thing happens, it's internal chaos all over again. So with foundational happiness, the reason I call it foundational happiness is because every time a person with foundational happiness experiences a big life event, negative or positive, there is space within that person for that life event to teach them. So because they have a foundation to grow on top of. They can truly learn from their experiences because the external environment doesn't throw them to and fro. They're able to just observe what's going on and take what they need and leave what they don't. Typically, where this comes from is a belief system grounded in faith as opposed to fear. We talk about this a lot on the channel, faith over fear, always. So when it comes to belief systems, I have a video about belief systems. It breaks down where belief systems come from and how we form them when we are children and all that fun stuff. So I will put that in the description box if you'd like to check that out. But when your belief system is grounded in faith, it's very hard to adopt a victim mentality because you know that abundance and good is your birthright. So when things happen in your reality that you didn't plan, that you didn't want, you don't take it personally. You don't take it as being attacked by the universe or being punished by something. You don't take it that way. Instead, there's an understanding that we cannot control our external circumstances, and we're not supposed to. A belief system grounded in faith will always keep you grounded. I'm using that word a lot, but I hope that you understand what I'm saying. As opposed to a belief system grounded in fear, when something negative happens, when something unexpected happens, a person with a belief system grounded in fear will feel personally attacked, will feel like they're being punished. When a person's belief system is grounded in fear as opposed to faith, every single external circumstance that happens is proof that life is to be feared, that we are supposed to be afraid, that we are supposed to always have our guard up because anything bad can happen at any time. So with that mentality, what are we attracting into our life experience? What vibration are we holding? We are holding the vibration of a person who has no faith, a person who expects the worst. A person who expects the worst can say to themselves, I'm happy, because they're happy in the moment. But if they truly believe that life is scary and that there is danger around every corner, does that person have foundational happiness and an understanding that life is full of love and abundance? A lot of law of attraction is perspective. You know, if you have a belief that life is scary, that life is supposed to be difficult, then when anything happens, that's the perspective you're going to come from. If a friend says, hey, I'm going to call you later, and then they don't call. If you have a belief system grounded in fear, your mind's automatically going to go to a place that says, they're mad at me. They don't like me anymore. Are we fighting? You know, all the random negative stuff. If you have a belief system grounded in faith, you would think, they must be busy. I'll talk to them soon. Doesn't matter when I talk to them, I'm just grateful I have a friend that I love. It's two different perspectives, but it all has to do with the belief system. You can be happy with your circumstances in the moment, but your foundational belief system is going to determine how you view your perspective of every situation that happens in your life. So some parts of this video may have resonated with you, and you may be thinking, maybe I'm not foundationally happy. Maybe I am only happy when my circumstances align with what I want. So how do I shift to the new place? How do I create foundational happiness? Just like when you build a house, you have to create the foundation. We're not born with foundational happiness. Okay? We are not born, none of us are born with foundational happiness. We are all born with circumstantial happiness. Have you seen a toddler? Have you seen children? They're only happy when they get their way. A part of maturity is creating foundational happiness. And the way that you do this is by understanding emotions, emotional intelligence. And once you have a bit of emotional intelligence, you know how to identify how emotions feel within your body. You want to learn how to identify when you feel peaceful, when you feel hopeful, when you feel gratitude, when you feel full of love. You want to learn how to identify when you feel angry, when you feel frustrated, when you feel fearful. You want to learn how these feelings feel inside of your body. After you know how these feelings feel, and you can identify when you're starting to have that feeling within yourself, observe your thoughts. And I don't mean observe your thoughts when things are going wrong. Yes, it's very important to observe your thoughts when things are going wrong, but that's kind of a different topic. I'm more so talking about observe your thoughts just in daily life when everything's uneventful. Even when you are circumstantially happy, still observe your thoughts. And as you observe your thoughts, observe how your thoughts make you feel. I always update you guys with what I'm currently obsessed with as far as observing my own thought patterns. And this week I'm finding that I am a worrier. I worry a lot. Even when it's not that deep, I still worry. And I'm in this place in my journey where I'm realizing that I expect the best, but I still have these laundry lists in my head, make sure you do this, make sure you do that. You have to make sure that it's at this level. You have to make sure that you please these people. And I'm realizing that even though my belief system is that everything's working out for my good, I still have this understanding that I have to be worthy of this good happening. And the only way I can be worthy of the good happening is by being productive. This is something I'm trying to work through right now. So that being said, my productivity expresses itself through me being a worrier, making sure that all of my work tasks are done. And what I've been doing is reminding myself every time I have downtime, when I have the space to remember, I say, what am I thinking? And usually it's a thought preparing me to do work at some point during the day. And when I realize this, I tell myself, hey, you are great at what you do, but do you have to do this today? Is it necessary to be done today? You guys know I'm pregnant, right? So I love working. Let me say that right now. So I love working, but this pregnancy has been pretty intense and I've been sick a lot. So I've been having to learn how to turn down my work ethic to take care of myself. And that's been bringing a lot of things up emotionally for me. So bringing it all back to foundational happiness, what does that say about my belief system? I just told you, but this idea that my productivity is equal to my worthiness. So the way that I am undoing this is by constantly reminding myself that I am worthy of my abundance no matter how much productivity I put out. And I also tell myself that the world isn't going to end if I don't get something done. I can be very hard on myself because I don't want to disappoint you guys. I had to go out of town this weekend, so I missed last Monday's upload, and it was a big opportunity for me to beat myself up, and I didn't. And I'm very proud of myself for that. It's really cool when you start to work on foundational happiness because you really can start to observe your growth. And the manifestations are a wonderful, wonderful part of the growth. It gets easier to manifest. Life becomes, for lack of a better word, life becomes breezier. Manifestations are awesome. But when we talk about foundational happiness, we're talking about really being a happy person, not waiting for something external to take your happiness away. So when I realized that I felt guilt within my body, when I realized that I felt anxious, that's when I can come back to my thoughts and say, hey, what am I thinking? And it would usually be something about work. And at that point, I could replace those thoughts with, I am at peace. I can only do what I can do, and nothing else is expected of me. And bringing it a little bit back to reality, right? Because we can all be really hard on ourselves in certain instances. So making sure that I'm being realistic with what I'm expecting of myself. But all of that comes with slowing down and really observing our emotional system to see how we feel so that we can check in with what's going on upstairs, to see if our brain has anything to do with the emotional discord. This is all so important because it helps us understand our true self. Creating foundational happiness helps you become your truest, highest self. Circumstantial happiness is dependent on external factors such as relationships, wealth, career, things that have nothing to do with our internal state. Based on my understanding, we all have different understandings of this life experience, but based on my understanding, I believe that we were put here to learn from all of these external experiences, not to take them personally, not to carry them with us our whole lives, simply to learn lessons. So when we are able to create enough space to observe the external world without our internal state shifting, not only do we speed up our growth, but we speed up the process of becoming the person that is capable of all these manifestations. And more importantly, a person who is truly happy with themselves. Foundational happiness comes when you learn how to make space for the lessons. Do not let your internal state be thrown around dependent on what's going on outside of you. Do not react over everything. Take time to learn how peace feels within your body so that you may maintain peace despite whatever you are going through. And last but not least, my favorite thing about foundational happiness is that it teaches us to look within ourselves for peace when things are going haywire on the outside. We don't look to spending money or watching TV or escapism, for lack of a better word. That's what it is. We don't look to escapism to find peace. We don't try to turn our brain off to find peace. Instead, we're able to look within and use ourselves to save ourselves. So, foundational happiness is important. And if it was not high on your priority list, I hope this video was enough to convince you to focus on your sense of foundational happiness as opposed to just being happy when everything's going your way. Because that's not what this life experience is about. Life is a flow. Sometimes we get our way, sometimes we don't. When we don't get our way, those are the moments that we grow, and those are the moments that we learn. But if we resist it, we can take away from our own lesson. We can take away from our own experience. I love you so much. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up so other people on YouTube know that it is valuable. If you would like for me to expand on anything that I talked about in this video, let me know down below in the comments and I'll address it in a future video. Last but not least, please make sure that you are subscribed and that you click the notification bell so that you can become a part of the Bendy Bunch and become a reality bender yourself. I love you. Thank you for checking out this upload, and I will see you next time. Bye.